and welcome to day 3 of my Sweet Jar class to go. This is a fun class that I am featuring this week and on my YouTube channel and blog. You can earn this class to go simply by placing an order in my online store. Your order needs to be a minimum of $50 before tax and shipping. And if you place that order by May 31st, you're going to receive this class to go completely free. I'll mail it to you. There are bonus levels if your order is $100 or $150, so make sure that you check that out in the video description or on my blog. Like I said, we are featuring the Sweet Jar bundle. This is a really fun bundle. It's a punch bundle, which I love. I always love a good punch bundle. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, let's take a quick little recap. On Monday, we made this adorable little cookie jar fun fold card. It is so cute. Yesterday, we made this kind of sweet peekaboo card. It has like the little hidden message in the little jar. So you lift that up. Now, I did want to mention yesterday about this card that I forgot to mention yesterday. I punched a second lid and put it on the back just to make sure that that tag was sandwiched in there. And that does help your lid stay on your jar a little bit easier. So make sure that you punch a second one and just adhere it to the back. And you can even stamp that one if you want. I didn't stamp it, I just punched it, but however you want to do it. Okay, so we're going to jump into today's card, which is this adorable card. I absolutely love this card. We're using some new colors, some new embossing folders. We're even going to do some embossing, which I haven't done in a while, and I love it so much. I don't know why I don't do it more often, but so let's jump into today's card. We have a lot of stamping to do, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to grab that piece of half sheet of white that's in your kit, and we're going to stamp, and we're going to stamp the jar and the flower, or not the flowers, the jar and the candles, each in Pretty in Pink, Darling Duckling, and Coastal Cabana. Now, I didn't do any of this in advance, so we're going to do it all together. So we're going to start with Coastal Cabana, and we are going to, and it looks like I need to grab some paper for all those lids. So bear with me, this video could get a little long, but we're going to stamp the jar in Coastal Cabana, and let me grab a little scrap of Coastal Cabana ink or cardstock. You will have all of these in your kit, I promise. That's why I film the videos in advance, so I know I make little notes on what I need to include. So I'm going to stamp the lid on Coastal Cabana cardstock. We have the jar on just basic white, and then we're going to come in with the candles. And I'm going to stamp the Coastal Cabana ones off to the right. We're going to do our candles down there. And then I'm going to do this, the flame that has like the, I don't know what you call it, the little rays coming off. There is another candle stamp in there that that just has the flame, so you can choose what you want. We're going to clean these off because we're going to use them in a different color. And okay, let's move this out of the way. We'll bring that back to do our next color. So let's bring in our next color, which is our new Darling Duckling. Darling Duckling is a brand new ink color, and it has been one of my favorites. I just love this color. All right, we're going to stamp this jar right next to it. We're going to bring in the candles. This time we're going to put the candles on the left. So we're going to stick those in, and then we'll do the little flames with the rays. Again, if you just want to do the regular flames, you can. The regular flames come 3 to a stamp, so you only have to stamp that once if that's something that appeals to you. All right, I need a scrap of Darling Duckling. Let me go into my drawer here. Here we go. And I'm just going to stamp the lid right on that little scrap. So we'll set that aside, and we're done with our Darling Duckling. So let me get my cleaner again. We got to clean all these stamps before we do them all in Pretty in Pink again. So let me make sure we get all that Darling Duckling off. Okay. And then we're going to do it in Pretty in Pink, and we're going to do some embossing. Okay. So let me close that up, bring in our Pretty in Pink ink. And we're going to do the same thing one more time. We're going to stamp that jar. And the candles again, oops, I'm out of camera. The candles again will go off to the right on this one. Or the left, I'm sorry. In my head, I knew what I was thinking. All right, and some flames on all these candles. Okay, so we have all of our jars ready to go. Let me grab a piece of pretty and pink cardstock now. See if I have a small scrap that will work. Okay. And we are going to stamp the lid, and then we'll do all of our punching. Let's stamp that right on the bottom. Okay, so we have all of our stuff stamped, ready to go. Let me close up this ink. And let's do our heat embossing real quick, as long as we are just doing our stamping. So you'll have a piece of black in your kit. This is just a little strip of black. Now, to do heat embossing, especially with white and especially on black, I do recommend you grab your embossing buddy. If you don't have an embossing buddy, you can get one in our Embossings Additions toolkit. So I'm just taking this, it's like a little filled with cornstarch, filled with anti-static powder, and I'm just kind of swiping it across my basic black cardstock just a couple of times. The Embossing Additions toolkit is great. It comes with a little tray. It comes with some tweezers. And we're going to do our Versamark. This is Happy Birthday. So I'm going to have to pull this down just a little bit so I can kind of see where I'm stamping and make sure I get it nice and straight. Now, this is a clear ink, so when I pull this up, you're probably not going to be able to see that on the video. But we are going to add some white embossing powder. And I like to dump my little jars into containers like this. It's helps me just keep it all contained a little bit neater. And we're going to drop that powder on, and it's going to stick to that sticky Versamark ink. And then we're going to emboss it. We're going to use our heat tool and heat it up and emboss it. Now, I like to make sure all the embossing powder is put away. Otherwise, you could end up with a volcano of embossing powder going everywhere. Ask me how I know that. I'm going to let my heat tool heat up for about 15 or 20 seconds off to the side and just have it kind of pointed toward the floor. The hotter your embossing tool is when you bring it to your powder, the faster it's going to emboss, and the faster and the less warping you're going to get. If you keep your embossing tool on the paper a long time, it could warp your paper. So I like to make sure that my tool is nice and hot before I bring it over. And you just want to hover it over your paper until you see that powder melt. And once it melts and turns a bright white, a little stray powder there, but that's okay. Once it melts and turns bright white, you are done and ready to go. So I'm going to set my embossing tool off to the side. We're done with that. I do have a little piece of white that I didn't notice. I'm just going to take my crafter's tip for my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to kind of scrape that off, and nobody will ever know. Okay, real quick, simple tip there. Okay, let's use our scissors, and we're just going to flag these ends here. And if you have any of that extra powder from the embossing buddy on here, you can just wipe that off. You can either just use your hands and just kind of wipe it off. As soon as the embossing is cooled, you can just wipe it off with your hands. You can get a tissue, however you want to wipe it off. But there is our embossed greeting. Isn't it magical? All right, let's punch all of our pieces out. I'm going to punch all of our jars out. Now we're going to end up with a few extra white lids here, so you can do whatever you want with those if you're collecting those for another project. That would be fine. All right, and our last jar. And then we're going to go in and just punch out all of our lids. Okay. One. Two. Now this is a fairly simple card. There is a lot of stamping on it, but it's fairly simple, but it's so pretty and stunning. I love this card. I love the colors. Coastal Cabana, Pretty in Pink, and Darling Duckling. They go so well together. Okay, so we're going to find our lids and our jars, make sure everything is all put together. Okay, so we have all of our stamped pieces ready to go. So I'm going to move these off to the side a little bit, and let's get out our card base. I have a Coastal Cabana card base, and then I have a piece of basic black and a piece of white that I have embossed. I'm going to have the name of this hexagon. It's not a hexagon folder, but this embossing folder will be listed in the supply list. This is the one that goes with our new Turtle suite, but I thought it was just a fun little abstract folder that was going to work well on this birthday card. So this one will come embossed in your kit, but you will need that punched in your kit to make the cards. I won't do any stamping or punching. Okay, so we're just going to attach that to our basic black piece, and isn't that fun? It's such a fun embossing folder. And I'm going to add this to our card base. And then we're going to start adding all of our jars. And we're going to do that with dimensionals. And I am down to my last few dimensionals on this sheet, so I hope I have enough dimensionals for this. So we're going to add a couple on the bottom of each one. So our jars will get dimensionals. Our lids will get dimensionals. Our greeting will get dimensionals. Everything's going to be popped up on dimensionals. Now, if you're mailing this card, you might not want to do so many dimensionals because it's going to make the post office mad. But whatever you want to do. All right, now for our lids, I have just a extra little sheet of dimensionals here. I'm just going to cut a thin little strip of that. And we're just going to use little pieces of just like a little strip, just to hold it on. Just like that. Okay. You can always trim up your dimensionals. It's totally fine. Make sure to use those edges. Don't ever leave those edges. The edges are such a good part of the dimensionals. Okay, last one. And then we're going to put some dimensionals on our greeting, and we will be all set to go to assemble this. So I'm going to, I have a few little mini dimensionals, so we'll just do that. We'll put these on the back of our greeting. Okay. And there we go. We are ready to start assembling. Okay. Greeting will go last. Okay, let's find our pink jar. That one's going to go off to the left here. I'm going to put it at a little angle, and I'm going to make sure that all the lids are kind of popping off. All right, our Coastal Cabana one is going to go off to the right at an angle, just kind of mirroring that pretty and pink one. Then our Darling Duckling one will go kind of right in the middle. Again, with that lid, just kind of popping right off. So cute, right? And then our greeting will go right in the middle. Happy birthday. And we're going to finish this off with, of course, you guessed it, some rhinestones. So I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and we're just going to add a few of these. And these are so sparkly. I just love them. Rhinestones are probably my all-time favorite embellishment. If I ever had to choose one embellishment, it would probably be rhinestones. They're just so sparkly, and I love them. All right, that is day 4. What do you guys think? Lots of stamping on this one, some fun embossing. Hope you guys love this one. And I will be back tomorrow, or this was day 3, I'm sorry. I'll be back tomorrow for day 4. And make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a video. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye.